This is the beginning of the retirement party that is coming tonight at the Redwood Inn. It's June 9th, as you can see, and Judy and I are just getting ready to go. It's going to be an exciting party with 6 of us retiring, and these were 2 cards that I received in the mail yesterday and today. And I'm waiting to see friends. Lots of people are coming. It's going to be 179 people. This is exciting. So I will stop now.
Oh, hi, Mom. Hi. Well, I guess I'm all set. All set for the retirement party. Oh, yeah. Been waiting a long time, and I can't wait to see everybody that's going to be there.
Special people. I'd like right now at this time to introduce Dr. John Pastor, who will give our invocation.
Could we all bow our heads? We thank divine providence for having given us the opportunity to gather here this evening. And we ask humbly for the blessing of this gathering. We are extremely grateful to be able to share in this evening's celebrations of our colleagues, George Bunning, Reed Jordan, Flo Clemens, Shirley Kohler, Freddie Oakley, and Orville Williamson. We have been enriched by our association with all these people and ask that each be granted health and happiness in retirement years which they most richly deserve. We ask that our eyes be brightened with greater understanding, our hearts enriched with compassion, that we acknowledge with gratitude the feast of fellowship and the fellowship of breaking bread together. Amen.
And at this time, I'd like to call on Mr. John Woodward to give the toast.
That a person never stands taller than when they bend down to help a smaller person. Well, if that's the case, and I suspect that it is indeed, then these people who are retiring this evening are the New York Knickerbockers of Grandford Township. It's kind of hard to see that one with you, Shirley, but at any rate, I'd like to propose a toast to George Bunning, Rita Jordan, Florence Clemens, Shirley Kohler, Freddie Oakley, and Orville Williamson. As you go into retirement, may you have calm seas, following winds, and always beautiful sunsets.
Thank you, Woody. At this time, the dinner is served. We'll get to our presentations after dinner. Enjoy your salads, and as soon as...
There it is. It's red. There you go. Lights on again.
presented with gifts and commemorations tonight, but I'd like to share with you something that happened today at school. Shirley's caller came to me with a very beautiful letter that one of her students had written, and it was not an assignment. That's what makes it even special. But it was a letter coming from a student, a thank you. And I said to Shirley when she shared it with me, Shirley, you have to share it. Shirley declined. And so I'm here to share the letter that Shirley had gotten coincidentally on a very special day in her life, but we thought it was really special to all the teachers here. And I think because it was unsolicited, it makes it even more special. So I'd like to share with you, it has not been corrected. Of course, I can use that if I fumble. Something that came from the student's heart. And when we asked her if she was willing to let us share with you tonight, she reluctantly, but I think with great pride, said yes. And I said to her, you know what, I really think it might be neat if you would share it on graduation. And she said, Mrs. Sullivan, I went to see Mr. Westerholm on my way down to see you. So, Harry, this is what she came to see you about. See if possibly she could read this at graduation. And I said to her, after he hears it tonight, there'll be no question. And so a letter from an 8th grade student, and it's entitled Teachers. I think one of the bravest types of people in this world are educators, the teachers. At this age, basically the only reason we, the students, have the will to get up in the morning is because we know we've got things to talk about with some of our dearest friends and comrades. In other words, we don't particularly like the idea of sitting and listening for 6½ hours to teachers go on and on about something that we really don't care about. Mostly, the important thing to some of us is trying to get in with the popular crowd. I know for a fact, even though I haven't gotten there yet, that everything that happens now is part of our own that they may encounter. Do teachers know they are leading us into our future? I think one reason they teach us is because they want to hand down the future and the world to us, so that when we are finished getting an education, we will make a difference in this world. They all have the power to pass down their knowledge to us and to lead us into the future, to make the world a much better and safer place to live in, and to make a bigger difference than they have. They want to give us the power which they once had so that we can have it better. Today, this world is too cruel to survive in. Teachers are handing the future to us in our own hands so that we make the best of it that we can. As I walk off the stage at graduation, I will say to the teachers, may God bless you all. I really can't say anything else, but the fact that this was an unsolicited, non-assignment, and the student felt very confident to say, I think was one of the nicest gifts that we as teachers could have ever got. So thank you, Shirley, for sharing it with us.
Nancy Keeler, Barbara French, Pat Kowalski, Barbara Glasgow, Marion Manning, Debbie Gottschalk, George Rezavi, Eileen Grasso, Mary Helen Sullivan, and Dorothy Kitchen's name was omitted. Joanne Atwell, Jan Torres helped with the program itself.
At this time, I'd like to call up
Jerry Feldman, who has some, she has some presentations of gifts to give to our honorees tonight. And if I could ask the people that are being honored, please just remain up here. You just might get another gift if you stay up here.
Thank you very much for inviting me here this very special evening. Retiring staff members who are being honored here tonight have, throughout the years, enthusiastically dedicated their skills, wisdom, patience, and caring to educating the children of Branchford. In addition, we've come to take for granted their strong support for the schools, the district, and the community. Branchburg School's tradition of excellence owes everything to its staff and faculty. All of you who are being recognized this evening have played an important role in establishing and maintaining this tradition, and PTO applauds you. It is my privilege as president of the Branchburg PTO to present to each of you Mr. Bunting, Mrs. Jordan, Mrs. Plymouth, Mrs. Kohler, Mrs. Oakley, and Mr. Williamson. This gift from the PTO is our heartfelt thank you to all of you for all that you did during your career in our school district, and with our best wishes for a retirement that is as rewarding as you also rightly deserve. Thank you and congratulations and happy retirement.
Jerry. At this time, I'd like to call Paula Grill up, representing the BFD. She also has a presentation to make. Paula?
Jerry, you left your notes here, but I will read them. They say good things come to those who wait, so I guess you're waiting for some good things. I went over and over in my mind when I was going to get up here on stage tonight. It's so thrilling to have this many people. I think at the board meeting the other night, we added up 133 years, without counting the big guy, Mr. Bunting. No, 133 years of service here, not counting Mr. Bunting. For the students of Branchburg Township, and I think that's just a thrill. I can say something about each of them. Let me start with Shirley. I knew Shirley as a mom before I knew her as a teacher. Her and her husband Bill were bicycle parents, and their son Ron rode for the bicycle club that my husband was involved with. And I remember one year we were at a picnic, a bicycle picnic, and being a frustrated teacher at home with my own little kids, Shirley started talking about Branchburg, and she started talking, and she started talking, and she would not shut up. It was so obvious to me, her love for Branchburg. I just assumed that I would go back to Bridgewater, but I'll tell you, after spending that afternoon with Shirley, that's why you people got stuck with me, because she just went on and on about Branchburg Township. So she loves it here, and I'm sure it's going to be very difficult for her to leave. Warren. The other day I walked into the board office, yesterday it was, and Dan was opening up some applications, and I didn't want to see what he was doing. I said, Dan, what are you doing? He says, oh, I'm just starting to go over the math application. I said, tell me, Dan, how many people are you going to hire to replace Florence? Florence has been such an asset to our curriculum here in Branchburg. Not only has she touched the lives of so many children, she's brought us national acclaim, and we are all so proud of you, Florence, and I'll tell you, we're going to miss you. I hear that you're going to put your name on our sublist. Is that true? Well, you'll have to go out and commit a crime, and then they'll say I look at Orville and Freddie and Reed, and I think, boy, how special. These are people that have touched so many of our students here in Branchburg, because you see so many of them as they go through the school, and how special to be teaching. Your profession came out of something that you love so much. Rita, with your books in your library, Orville, with your I'm studying with your computers. It's neat to have a profession come out of a hobby like that. And I'll tell you, I know that the students and the staff alike have benefited from their love of what they do. And I have a small feeling that you have played a small part in the dining room table that I have, that my son Jimmy made, because of the little bit of something you instilled with him for the love of work. So I want to thank all of you for that. And George, I don't know what to say about you. Yeah. You're not a BFT member, but you have certainly been a BFT friend. I can't tell you the number of times that I've gone into George's office, closed the door, and said, just listen to me, George. And he has. And he's been so patient and helped me come to terms with so many things that I had to go through with BFT. He's just been like a father to me. Like a big brother. So he has definitely been a BFT friend. And as I said, we're 133 years of service. I'm just as proud as I can be of these people. And on behalf of the BFT, we wish you the best of luck on your retirement, good health, and may all the things you ever wish for come to you in the next few years. And I always said BFT stands for my best friends, our teachers, and this is very true. About 24 years in Florida, and all that time I never really thought about the qualities that make you such a fine teacher. But it's going to share some of those since I've been doing this task. I just want to share some of those things that I've been thinking about. I never saw you on a child, no matter how severe the learning or emotional problems. I never saw you put a child down. You treated every child as you would want your own child treated.
It's done a fabulous job. I want to show respect to one person here also. I have a very special table here of friends. I have always felt privileged to have been one teacher who has taught in all 3 schools under 3 different administrators. But I wish there would have been 11 chairs at my table, so that I could have honored the person whom 13 years ago I went to work for. And I feel that he had more faith in me than I had in myself. About 7 years ago, he asked me to move up to the big school. You must remember I had only gone to 3rd grade at that point. So I was very hesitant. And Mike said to me, if Jean can do it, you can do it. Those words have stuck with me for 7 years, and I tried to do the best I could. There are several people missing. When I decided to retire, there were 2 people who were my mentors, and I pray that every teacher can have the kind of mentors I had. And at this time, I hope they're listening, and that is Tom Peck and Hilda Parzel. Thank you all so very, very much.
To be the person to present George's presence this evening. This is an emotional night for me because I think not only for myself, but the staff of Stony Brook right now, and anyone who's been had the privilege to teach under George. Paula said she thought of him as a big brother or father. I think of him as a friend. George, you've been a wonderful administrator for me. There's never been a time that I wanted to go to a conference or
since it was Eileen who presented it, I was kind of worried it was going to be either Seattle or Yuhan. I'll have to put away the things I had prepared in the back of my mind. I'm going to miss certainly the people. Based upon what I've seen come across my desk in the last 4 to 6 months, I don't think I'm going to miss most of the job, other than the kids and the people I work with. But I see my friend Mr. Campana's arrived. I guess the ball game's over. Huh, Joe, did we win? We did. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I think as Shirley said, it's hard to stand here and try and thank everybody, but I know my early career at Central for 13 years was rewarding, and then kind of fell in the doldrums, I think. And then when I know in 1980 when John thought about switching us, I did it with kind of trepidation, but we all kind of went through with it, and it worked out pretty well. I know it worked out well for me because I left one group of people I grew up with as a teacher and became their administrator, and some of us stayed friends and some of us didn't because of that, but I think we all respect one another, and I certainly got into a nice group of people at Stony Brook, and as I look around tonight, I see a lot of people that I had a hand in hiring, and I know that when I leave, Branchburg is in good hands. I think there's a lot of good people in Branchburg. We have a good school system, certainly. It's reinforced to me every time a real estate agent calls and wants to introduce a family.
We were told, not asked, we were told this is not a roast. I don't want anything nasty said about me. And we're going to respect that because for the next couple of weeks he still is our boss. So. But we'll get you. At this time I'd like to introduce Gladys Fisher.
I would like Rita to come up, please. You're a queen for a long time. We want to present you with this gift. We know that you love gardening and that you'll be in your garden a lot. And so this is just part of your gift. One chair, there's another chair coming, a table, and a love seat. Oh! So, enjoy your days in the garden and we'll drop by to see you. Right.
She suggested that we read the verse.
Then I didn't have to say anymore.
Retirement is a gift of time to treat as an adventure, to meet with joy and bright anticipation. It's a time to take new chances, make new friends, to reach and to grow, to find each day a cause for celebration. And I expect to celebrate. I too would like to thank everybody. Those people that I work with have made it a joy. The children, mostly a joy. Some days I'd rather give back, but any teacher will say that. It's been a wonderful experience for all the years that I've worked here, and it's been an exciting thing because we came from a library to a media center. We've gone into, stayed up to date, and it's been fun doing it, and I'm going to miss that most of all. But I think I'm going to miss everything. But I'm still looking forward to being retired. Thanks, everybody. all my license, I couldn't say no. But thank you. I said to everyone I was not going to make a speech. I can't do it, but I do want to thank the people who put together this absolutely delightful celebration or whatever. I don't know whether it's a celebration, but it is for me anyway. I want to thank my family who came with me. I'm proud of every one of them, and I'm so glad to have them with me. And all of my friends and colleagues who I'll miss terribly, but you haven't seen the last of them. Thank you again.
It is my honor to present this gift to one of our most respected and contemporary teachers, Florence Swimmer. Florence, we hope that your retirement will be one of much happiness and that you will be able to gain both the comfort and security that you have given to all your students.
Where's John Piper? I told him I wasn't going to make a speech. Don't hassle me in the morning. I really thought I'd get up here and say, it's been great seeing all of you, thank you. Good night, I can't do that. I realized in the last couple of hours how many memories that we all have together. Considering some of you gentlemen that I started substituting for way back in the early 60s, George Resby brought me in as a substitute teacher. George Bunning, who had the nerve and guts to hire me back in 68, regardless of what he had heard. It has been an association with all of you that has been fantastic. I'm very proud of the fact that I left my first profession of medical technology and became a teacher. And I'm still going to remain a teacher. Yes, I am looking forward to getting on the substitute list so the Branchburg Police cooperate. Do you realize I have to be fingerprinted and the FBI has to check me out? I'm serious. I have to pay $35 for it on top of all that. The administration has been fantastic for the two principals that I've had. John Pastor. It was great that when I was on the instructional council and you came in, I knew we were going to have a good year. Dan Kowalski, for all your support. I will be back. I do not intend to go home and sit in that beautiful rocking chair that we have in our living room. And if Joe thinks I'm really going to get to all those projects I've been buying and telling him I was going to do when I was retiring, he's going to be mistaken. Thank you all.
I had to write a book called How to Knit While Looking Interested in Administrative Meetings. If you sew every Afghan this lady ever made, end to end, they would reach out somewhere in the middle of Ohio or something. Oh, by the way, I found some photographs, too. It's a good from about 18, 20 years ago. If they only knew. At this time, I'd like to introduce George Resby.
Or, seemed like a long walk. When you come up here, we're not holding hands, and we're not hugging. See that? We take the negative and get the positive. You know, I can see why some of these people are retiring. When you take a look, and I don't want to miss anyone, you see Mark Jacobs, Jeff Canella, Ruth Halprin, Paul Spacek, some of our old-timers, Edith Vermeulen, March, Global, Ellen Markley. I think I missed some. Who did I miss? Ruth Halprin. Sally, did I miss Sally? Sally's not retired yet? No. I know she will be after tonight. Joe Lenio
Laura told me it was a long time ago that she's been retired. Okay, Sal. You know, too, I was hoping that this wouldn't have happened this early, because I don't know if these people realize what they put us through. But all I've been doing for the past week and a half or longer is going through applications. And then Dr. John said, how about you, a couple of you guys become involved with the principal's evaluation also. So we've been doing some yeoman's work in trying to get the people replaced. And I'll tell you what, you would have made it so much easier if you would have stayed. We're trying to get a couple of people to do it, but it just didn't work out. Or I don't have a big gift for you. But the gift I have, oh, it's not terrible. Some of the secretaries have been complaining at Central School. As you know, Orv is pretty much of an amateur gardener. And they said, you know, he brings the produce and it's really good, but you know, some of the items are a little small, whatever. So we decided what we would do would be to get him a little greenhouse. And this greenhouse is something that he's going to have to put together. And since we weren't able to carry it here and bring it for you to see, Orville's going to need to read the directions, which he's very, very capable of doing, and putting this together. He's made so many projects himself, and over the years, probably hundreds, close to 1,000 projects with the kids. So this is something that I'm sure he'll have no difficulty with. So this is a picture of what is going to be delivered to your home probably tomorrow sometime. If it doesn't come, it won't be my fault. Just so you know, I don't know if any of the honorees have had an opportunity to open their packages that are on their table. But in there, doesn't have anything to do with Christmas. But I'd like, if you would, when you get up in the morning, you ring the bell and go right back into bed. And think about some of us who are there toiling with the youngsters. Good luck. God bless you. Take care.
First of all, point one, I really would like to thank each and every one of you. You've been more than a friend and a fellow teacher. You've been confidant. And when you've had something to complain about, the closer teachers have been there to listen and laugh a little sometimes and say, oh, you think you've got problems. But I'm one of the few lucky ones that the gentleman that was just here, Mr. Recipe, and the one that everyone proclaims to be either the father or the brother or the sister, George Bunny, these were all teachers, believe it or not. And I can remember them saying, way back in the 6th grade, they both taught 6th grade, I'm getting out of here. Now, I didn't realize they were going to become principals at the time, but that's what their plan was. Wasn't too long ago, I heard some of these gentlemen say, boy, why wish I was back in the classroom. And at that point, I realized it's a pleasure to be in the classroom because we only see it from one side. We see it with the turmoil of the day with the students, the confusion, the extra kid that comes in occasionally, and you say, where am I going to put him? Where is he going to go? I only have 7 saws and there's 6 kids. That's a figure. We share. Of course we share. Safety has always been upmost in my mind, and I'm proud to say, I hope we can finish the year out. No major accident. And I really felt, and I tell my children this, that I'm giving you the moments of my life as a teacher. I am giving you 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, or a half an hour. And I would like to see those minutes come back with interest. And through the years, I've had enough come back that I felt I've gotten a message across. It wasn't safety, it was...
Now I'm an engineer, Mr. Winston.
Or I've taken this course. I had a model airplane club. I have many pilots.
Now we're flying because of that
Model airplane club. And I'm quite proud of that. And I have 19 girls. Miss Mary Jane Sabato, one of them, who's now working again with her dad over at the Colonial Motors, is an engineer, just as one to mention a name. 19 girls that became architectural engineers and designers, and they thanked me for it because they said, we wouldn't have had this opportunity to do this
I've had more than one parent, I've had more than one teacher come up and say, gee, if I only had this in school when I was young. Mr. Vanesky's here. And of course, my good old friend, and sometimes worst enemy at times, at least in the lunchroom, we thought that, Mr. Zagoria. Would you stand, Mark? I think everybody, there he is. Thank you, Mark. He said he was going to get me the New York Times, and I said I'm going to get him the Conservative. But anyway, these folks really have seen Branchburg grow, and I have always said Branchburg is the best school in the area. I have never said otherwise, and I am familiar with Bridgewater, I am familiar with Somerville, I am familiar with Hillsborough. When the Hillsborough children were feeding into Somerville, at the same time Branchburg students were feeding into Somerville, we were still the top echelon of students as far as grades, as academics, and the feedback from Somerville High School was always that the Branchburg students came best prepared. And I still believe it. And I'd like to see it continue. And I know
My friends out here that you will
be able to do it, and I thank you very much.
I add one more thing. Big at 28.
Are you serious? Some of you know of the good fortune that I've had. They call it luck. Well, I don't happen to be Irish. But I was sitting at the table and they said, you know what, they're going to call that the lucky table over there. And I hope that the few people that I've come in contact with have enjoyed that luck. I've enjoyed sharing it. I didn't win the Pennsylvania lottery on my own. And then I had a share, unfortunately. We had a pick 5, and guess what? 3 people shared it. But then after one-third of us shared it, guess what? We had to split it 4 ways after that. We ended up not getting a whole lot. But it was indeed lucky. And, you know, I walk back to the table, please. My whole family's here. My wife, Eileen, who has stood by me through thick and thin. My 2 sons, Scott and Todd. And let me say, folks, with my 2 boys and my wife, my 2 boys in particular, I hope you can say this thing too. I really mean this. I trust them with my life. Here. And here, right on the plaque that we gave them from the PTO, it said 27 years, 30 years. But I didn't know. In case you're interested, 163 years of service in Branchburg. That's incredible. You guys, 163 years ago, it was 1831. And you talk about it being tough to replace. Folks, it's going to be impossible to replace. Oh, we'll get people, you know, to fill these positions. But the service and the dedication and the hard work that these people have put in Branchburg, it's going to be impossible to replace that. And I'd just like to end tonight by saying when I look at this list of names, George Bunning, Rita Jordan, Florence Clements, Shirley Kohler, Freddie Oakley, and Orville Williamson, the one word, if I had to put it in the one word, would have to be class. Yes, some class people here that were honoring tonight. And just as a final farewell for the evening, I just have one more round of applause for these people.